Happy Sunday. Peace and blessings. I'm the Moon Mama. How are y'all doing today? Sunday is the day that is governed by the sun, and the sun is currently at the 6th degree of Cancer. I share the degrees because our system is a system based on numbers and math. This is a system that is all based on math and the cycles and the first of all, there's so many cycles. Like there's a moon cycle and a sun cycle and a cycle for the seasons and a cycle that is, the cosmology cycle. There are all of these incredible cycles that are working around one another and working together. And these cycles are based on math. It's just geometry is what it is, right? And so math is not my strong suit. Like I'm much more of a storyteller, but the math is as important as the stories that go with the math. And so I bring the stories. I encourage you to find someone who also practices numerology, who might share on a daily basis around the numbers and all that sort of stuff, because it's just as significant. And what I have discovered, learning about it and practicing it, what I have come to understand is that there is a perfection to this thing. My understanding has brought me to believe that we really do live in a simulated, this is a simulated experience where this body is really this body is really an avatar for our soul, for our God self. And the body is at the effect of the math, the geographical or geometrical things that are going on in our solar system, and depending on where we are in the shift of that energy is impacting us. So the more you understand your astrology and your numerology, the more you can be where you're supposed to be. It's almost like getting a call and saying, we need you to be here at this time because this is the energy. And so when you follow the astrology and understand the astrology and the numerology, you can land where you're supposed to be in a more exact way. So today I want to, before I talk about the sun in Cancer and the moon in Aquarius, I want to invite you. The next moon cycle begins on July 1st. We're going to be working with the new moon in Cancer and the full moon in Aquarius. This year, up till now, has been, our moon cycles have been going backwards. We have the full moon in Capricorn and then the new moon in Cancer. Normally we have new moon and then full moon, or, it's not normally, but the universe will go forward and then take that same energy and go backwards and then redirect, because we're always sort of like catching up with ourselves. It's sort of like, if you are folding a big blanket with another person and you fold over together, and then so that's what the universe is doing to get us in the space where it is just for us. There is an exclusivity to your energy, and if you're not using it in an exclusive way, you'll experience depression and fear and heartbreak because you're not aligned the way you're supposed to be aligned. And there's a science to it, right? So if you would like to join the 13 Moons Manifestation, you can join this month. It's $97 a month. Every month we do the rituals and the practices and and we guide you into literally doing the work to transform those energies that are connected to that new and full moon. This one is going to be really significant because it's the new moon in Cancer, which brings us back to our early childhood patterning. So you want to really take this opportunity to look at your childhood and see what fucking needs to be left behind. What are you carrying from your mama, or stories about your mama and your father and all that sort of stuff that are being left behind? In the end of the year, I will be offering Finding Our Mothers and Finding Our Fathers to really heal these patterns at a deep level. But this class will help you discover what they are. What are the stories? And many of us are telling stories about our parents and we don't even recognize that we're doing it. And we think that we're justified in it, right? We think like, oh yeah, my daddy wasn't around and so fuck him, and my mother was this. And I talk to people constantly who are like, at odds with their parents. And I understand it because our parents do really things that are traumatizing, but we have to come to an understanding that we chose them for this. We chose them so that they would give us the lessons that we need to learn for our lives. So if we're holding them hostage and unforgiveness, all that shit you're going to pay for in your own life. You're just holding yourself hostage if you're holding your mama hostage or your daddy hostage and not able to forgive and let them be free. So I encourage you to join this month's moon cycle. You can do it in my link tree or ask for the link. And we are a group on Facebook. It is a private group on Facebook. We also are on Teachable, so everything is emailed. But we have a private group on Facebook. There are about 70 of us there, where we're doing the practices every day around every phase of the moon. When the moon moves, what it does. Like I offer all of the tools so you can understand what to do with every moon. Waxing gibbous, waxing crescent, waning crescent, the half quarter moon, the all of those moons. We give you the rituals so that you can align yourself. Nothing aligns you like rituals. Nothing gets you as free as rituals do. Okay, with that, the sun is in Cancer at the 6th degree. The sun in Cancer is the energy of our divine mother. It is our ability to care for ourselves. It is our internal world, right? Your internal world from your childhood makes your external world in your adulthood. That's it, right? So whatever you had going on as a child then comes into manifestation in your adulthood. And so, whatever we learned, especially from our mothers with the moon and with the sun in Cancer, whatever we learned from our mothers is how we are to access our power. So for instance, my mother, I've talked about, my mother was a prostitute. And I rejected her for so many years. And so I didn't understand my own sexual power. I didn't understand that sexual power is creative power, that sexual power is our spiritual power, because I was resisting how that was being taught to me. I was resisting being in my body. I was resisting loving, caring for men and nurturing men the way my mother would. My mother was very loving and nurturing to the masculine. It was just a part of her DNA, and she just was constantly caring and loving and nurturing and sexing and cooking and cleaning and all that sort of stuff for the masculine. And I rejected that because it didn't look like she was powerful. It looked like she was giving all her energy away. And so now as an adult, I get to come back and reconcile those energies that I have with my mother. So what are your internal stories about your mother, man or woman, whoever you are, right? What's the truth, right? Don't make up some nice bullshit, really tell yourself the truth, because whatever you're telling yourself, you're living it out anyway. The moon today is in Aquarius, and the moon in Aquarius is saying, come back to your blueprint. Who were you before you took on the belief that your mothers gave you or that your fathers gave you? Who were you before you began to identify so closely, but creating attachments with the 3D reality, with others, believing that you needed to put yourself down in order to be loved, believing that you needed to, look at the kitty, believing that you needed to deny, resist, restrict who you really are in order to fit in. I talk to people constantly. Like I have several clients who are gay, right? And they grew up in families that told them that being gay was wrong and told them you can't walk like that or you can't talk like that. So they put themselves away and they went to war with themselves. How many of us have done that in the Black community because of the church and really, becoming at war with who we truly are because we feel this need to fit in, right? So this needs to be addressed because the Aquarius energy says who you are is exactly who you're supposed to be, and that you can't be a sin. Sin is nothing. Like sin is the belief that God is not with you. That's what sin is, the belief that God is not with you. So, it's like you believe that if you're gay, you're in sin because you believe that somebody told you that God says that being gay is an abomination. That's not true. Being gay is not an abomination. Being gay is fantastic, right? So we have this opportunity to really take responsibility for our childhood patternings, our childhood beliefs, our childhood attachments, and begin to do the work to reframe them, right? So like, for instance, I felt entitled because my mother didn't take care of me and love me the way that I wanted her to. I was going to the world like, I need to be loved, like I need to be seen. And I just was like a temper tantrum, right? And so when I really started recognizing, well, what was the benefit of not having a mother present? What was the benefit? Well, I'm very independent. I know how to hear myself. I understand my intuition because no one was there cutting off my own way of being. No one was there telling me, don't do that. You shouldn't be that way. That's wrong. Or do it my way. Or I think this is good for you. No one was doing that. So I have an incredible sense of self that I created from my childhood. And so now I get to really respect my mother and understand that what happened was exactly what was supposed to be. So you got to really learn to reframe those experiences and see how they served you to be who you are, and focus on the benefit and not the deficit, right? So we have some transits today. I only have a couple of minutes. The sun at the 6th degree of Cancer is about rejuvenating your early childhood inner experience, regenerating it, creating it in a new way. The moon conjunct Saturn means that our karma is really present and bringing you back to who you really are, like who you were before your family took over. The moon square Uranus, literally listening to your higher wisdom, listening to what the universe is telling you, what the mind of God is offering you. Listen and take actions. The moon sextile Chiron, being a warrior for yourself, like really being a warrior, because Chiron is in Aries, being a warrior about your own individuality, like really fighting for you to be you. And Saturn in a square with Uranus, then making something new out of what this energy is bringing you, like deciding to be different, deciding like, okay, I'm going to do something different. What is it that I'm going to do? And, so for me, I'm deciding that, okay, what am I taking on? I am literally going to stand in allegiance with my wisdom. I know that it is not what the world says, but I'm clear that, getting outside of this system and letting go of these practices of the West, I am letting them go. I don't believe in it anymore. I am done with it, right? So this is Saturn square Uranus. Make something new that you can do practically. Do something different that is going to lift you up, that is going to inspire you, that is going to make you something to contend with in this world that is true to your soul's purpose. With that, I'm the Moon Mama. Have a beautiful Sunday. Peace and blessings. Bye-bye.